Okay, it's abnormality then, shouldn't right?
Yes, I'm recording for you.
No, I paused this one.
Oh yeah, I'm not finished. I have the floor. I have the floor. Mr. President, sitting as chair, I still have the floor. When they give you the floor, correct that 500 million. Let us watch our dating linen in public.
You're watching live plenary proceedings.
Of our grading leaders. Oh, Thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike, so that you eliminate all of them, so that you have peace in our nation. Or join them in one aeroplane, so that it will crash land in the course of their journey. Furthermore, our security agents, i.e., the police and of our grading leaders. Oh, Thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike, so that you eliminate all of them, so that you have peace in our nation. Or join them in one aeroplane, so that it will crash land in the course of their journey. Furthermore, our security agents, i.e.
Thank you, Jerry son. Thank you. Thunder, oh Thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike. The moment the guy dropped, some of you collected 500 million. I'm a senior colleague. I did not get 500 million. But he switched off his microphone. The guy was talking. We no longer heard him. Towards the end, did you hear the part where he said, now let us watch all our dirty in the public? Did you hear that part? But me, Mayegun, I am the one that somehow, you, Lagos Abobaku, Oshogbu Alimajiri, me, Mayegun, I am the one that doesn't like Nigeria, that hates Nigeria. I am the one that doesn't want Nigeria to succeed. Odelo Yawiri. People at home didn't know that you are already mad. When they are calling the roll call of mad people, starting from your own local government area, you did not grab the banner and go to the front row. One way down. You are seeing the people that are mortgaging your life on your screen there. You are praying for them. Abi, but me, Mayegun, Emini, Nami be the enemy of Nigeria. You this Mayegun, God will shame you. Who go come? What go happen to those ones? What should happen to those ones where they share 500 million? Hi. Anyway, just for the context, you have an idea. The man called Akpabiole. When Akpabiole was governor, he stole over 200 billion naira from Akwa Ibom as governor. EFCC arrested him after his tenure as governor. They arrested him and charged him for stealing 109 billion naira. Akpabiole decamped to APC, Egbekegbe, few days after EFCC arrested him. And the case died a natural death. The Nigeria DSS and the rest of them, they cleared Akpabiole to become a minister in 2019. They cleared him. He passed through all the security clearance. Some of you, ordinary road tickets, traffic tickets are being con. Speed tickets. Once they discover it on your background check, you cannot run for public office, or you cannot get to that particular position. But these are people who robbed betrayed the trust of the people, robbed the people he was supposed to be their governor, stole from them, and said, "Shibi, I build you road, and I build you stadium. Other people didn't build them. So if I took some for myself, what is wrong?" So Akpabiole was rewarded with a ministerial position in 2019 by Bokwari. He became a minister, and he went on to go and steal over 4 trillion naira from the Ministry of Niger Delta. And I didn't make this up. So they started investigating him, and he decided to blame it on the permanent secretary of the ministry. But she won't keep quiet. According to her, this is who Akpabiole is. And that is the Akpabiole that is now superintending the affairs of the National Assembly of Nigeria. Your president na drug dealer. Your vice president, na terrorist, Boko Haram sympathizer. Your Senate president, the chairman of your National Assembly, is Ogbojole inu igbo irumole. Ebora tonje owo, evil spirit with a chop naira, is the head of the assembly that was supposed to act as checks and balancing. I mean, so that they call them checks and balances. But the executive, they themselves became legislatives, legislators. Abi, ma give you this context before we get to the part when they have to send Ningi back to Bauchi. You cannot say you this rat. You cannot chop with Onile. And it is now you wanted to come and disgrace Onile in public. Who is Akpabiole? Madam, tell us what happened and how 4 trillion naira disappeared in a single ministry, the Ministry of Niger Delta. Sure.
He told me in the car that, Madam MD, if you don't do what I say, the same pen with which I used to sign your letter, it will be the same pen that I will use to remove you. He said the first thing I should do when I get to Port Harcourt is to change the dollars in the NDDC account. I was scared to do that. After that, he came to Port Harcourt 2 days after the inauguration. He said the first thing I should do is to make sure I change the dollars. I should remove Mr. Kaltungo from being legal and send him on compulsory retirement, that we cannot have a northerner be the head of the legal team, of the legal unit. He said I should remove all the other directors that refused to take his instruction during the time of Mrs. Agwagaga. That was the predecessor before I came. So he came also with a draft, which I've submitted, with a draft letter that I should write and put it on my letterhead, implicating Senator Mobushi for collecting contracts in NDDC. I told him that I will not, I'm a lawyer, and that whoever alleges must prove. The fact that Senator Mobushi is giving us trouble as IMC, you remember also that they did not recognize the IMC. I said I will not do that letter. He said I was ungrateful and I refused to do the letter. Dr. Cairo now said that he will do the letter. If Akpabio tells him to kill, he will kill before he asks, why did he kill? I said, for me, I will not do the letter. At that place, there was Mr. Etiebet, who was the only staff of the NDDC that was present at that meeting. When he finished, he now asked Dr. Cairo to go and send for the letter-headed paper from the office. They now sent for the letter-headed paper. Dr. Cairo now did the letter, which I've also submitted to the committee, alleging that Senator Wabushi had contracts. Then He said, I must sign the cover letter. I said, if I sign any document from me seen by Mr. President, he will believe every line of it. So I will only write that the EDP, who should know about projects, has gone. The next thing that he told me, he said, I must make sure that all these people leave and that the procurement, because apparently Akpabio, before I came, when himself and Festus Keyamo were ministers, their first meeting at the commission, he was awarded 30 contracts for distilting and water hyacinth. Mr. Linus, who was the director finance, refused to sign because it did not follow due process. He also said that I should implicate the chairman of the House Committee, because the chairman of the House Committee had gone to Ondo State for a meeting to plan against him. Water hyacinth and distilting. They said that the budget for water hyacinth and distilting was, I think, for about 3 to 5 billion. I'm not sure exactly how much. But that the NDDC, before I came, had overstretched itself to about 50 billion for water hyacinth and distilting. And so the National Assembly had written us, they have it also, they had written us that we should not pay for anything like that. He said, and guess what? Akpabio never signs any documents. He will always refuse to sign, but he will tell you to go and commit the fraud. For instance, he told me to go and raise a memo and give an emergency contract for flood victims. He wanted me to take an oath. He has denied that, but I want to say today, he told me up to 3 times until we had a reconciliation meeting at the villa in the house of Mr. Sadiki Abba, who is the SA to the president on domestics. In that meeting was Alhaji Mekano. He said the only condition was if I take the oath. I refused to take the oath, and I did not take that oath. And I will never take the oath from him. So he said he was going to remove me. He started a campaign of calumny against me. He said I did not answer him because the facts will speak for itself. Now, to end this matter about the procurement process, I refused to go with him to deceive Mr. President at the FEC meeting, because the Procurement Act says if I contravene any section of the Procurement Act, is 5 years imprisonment without an option of fine. So if I go and say they should pay for the process, if you see, they say it's for 2020 budget. Akpabio went to get the approval from FEC. The 2020 budget has not even been discussed by the National Assembly till today. The 2020 budget has not been passed. However, he lied to FEC, which is the greatest embarrassment in this country, for a budget that has not been passed, for an approval to be given for that procurement. I refused to go because he wanted me to send the money for the procurement to the ministry to implement the forensic audit. I refused. I am challenging him to deny any of these allegations because he told me.
Do I need to add more? That is the Akpabiole that is now the Senate President of Nigeria. That Senate is now being accused of padding the 2024 budget, the first national budget to be passed by the Akpabiole's Senate, National Assembly, is padded with over 7 trillion naira fake budget. Are you surprised? Are you? Well, Bamidele had this to say. Bamidele from Ekiti. Another disaster like Fayemi. You know what I mean? Those ones, anyway. He came back and he said, this issue of missing money or no missing money, was because some of these northern senators have been planning to remove Akpabiole. So politics. But before I let you hear from Okpeyemi Bamidele, I would ask you to please read this with me. Let's do this together so that we can then continue, okay? Ade Alaba, thank you so much, OG, for your super chat. If I didn't click it there, I'll probably miss it. Thanks a lot for that, and God bless you. Very kind of you. Now, please take a look at this. The anomalies discovered in the where is that? In your 2024 budget. So take a look at the first one, okay? In the document, they said, given the sensitivity of the document, surprisingly, it was discovered that the budget document is filled with anomalies, which are either intentional or will require special consideration to correct. A few of such are highlighted from 3 MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies, to call for a proper scrutiny of the document. The past budget, as announced, is 28.777.400 trillion shares, 28.7 trillion. However, the analysis of the budget document shows as against the figure 25 trillion 362 billion 116 million 880,968 naira. There is a need to identify the source and the intention of the difference in such a sensitive document. There are several records of arbitrary allocations of funds to projects. In pages 488 and 489, 495 billion 489 billion 400. Hang on, no. Why am I reading 400? Okay, I've seen it now. It is actually 495,926,518 was allocated in just 2 pages to unrelated projects. The coincidence is too much to be true and need to be investigated. Similarly, on page 502, 297,555,000 or so, and around 11 were arbitrarily allocated to 7 unrelated projects on a single page. On page 319, project ERGP 4103042 under the Ministry of Police Affairs is pegged as 443,364,563, but the same project is recorded as 1,443,364,564 naira, representing a difference of 1 billion naira. In hindsight, the regional allocation is faulty, considering the already inability to access the lumped allocation to specific regions. Lumped. I wish I underlined that for you. You see that part that they said, I would take that again. Say, in hindsight, the regional allocation is faulty, considering the already inability to access the lumped allocation to specific regions, and given the over 77% magnitude of the items in the analyzed budget, there is therefore a need to rigorously investigate the items. Conclusion: according to the analysis done, it is highly necessary that a highly analytic monitoring of the budget document implementation is to be conducted to prevent gross corruptions that are already suspected in the context of the analysis. Preferably, documentation of each and every mobilized project to show, location, cost, and handling concerns must be mandated. The same must be verified by a neutral concern and married with the budget document and blah, blah, blah. Okay, budget statement. Now, I want you to please go back to the second to the last paragraph, okay, where they mentioned, where they said that, they couldn't access the lumped allocation to specific regions, and given the over 77% magnitude of the items in the analyzed budget. So what this writer pretty much is saying is that, just like your question earlier, your question was that was the guy angry because of the wastage, or is angry because he did not get his own share? And I told you that the answer to that is yes, yes, yes. So in that, their own fight, they said they couldn't access the details of some of these projects that are mostly in some region. They are referring to maybe Yoruba land, maybe the southeast, south. All these projects don't exist, but they know that is the Akpabiole and others' way of cashing out for themselves, like the northern thieves cashed out for 8 years under Bukwari and rubber stamp Lawan. So it is not about you, it's not about the people, it's not about their welfare. It is the fact that this sharing, this money, whether the budget is not budgeting, and is raising an alarm to make it sound like he's trying to tell all of us that, oh, they are stealing your money. Oh, I need to tell you, they are stealing your money. Oh, of course, we know that's what you do, steal money. But that is not what Bamidele is saying. Bamidele says, now the enemies of Tifnumbu want to remove Akpabiole because there is no pardon. Listen.
Budget. All of us pass this budget. Never about Mr. President who signed this budget. It's always about Akpabio. We have a momentum. This is a defining moment for all of us to say, if we are going to have a stable Senate, let us have one. It is not about North and South. It's about our rules. It's about the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's about people who are hungry and deprived. Mr. President, sitting as chair, make no mistake about it. A few people who feel they will not give you more than 1 year to spend in this chair want to do everything possible before the 13th of June to remove you. And I am telling you, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, distinguished colleagues, and that's why I say I'm speaking as Senator Michael Okpeyemi Bamidele, not as the Senate leader. As the Senate leader, I've always done everything possible to stabilize the Senate. I'm speaking, I'm exercising my own privilege as a senator. Now I am telling you, sir. I am telling you, sir. And I want Nigerians to know, I say it for history. The last time the people of South that you represent had a chance to be Senate President was over 40 years ago. The last time the entire people of the South had a chance to be Senate President was during Obasanjo regime, when he went to the Southeast. 5 people were elected because they were impeached in quick succession. But as soon as he left the South, we had peace and stability again because we will always cooperate. David Mark spent 8 years. Senator Ahmad Lawal spent 4 years. Peaceful 4 years. Saraki, even with all he did, spent 4 years. He was not impeached. It is about Akpabio. It is about the South. You can now understand why Senator Ningi, we want to use the name of Northern Senators Forum, even when most of them did not agree to this. Mr. President, I plead with you. This is an opportunity for us to follow our rules. If tomorrow the wisdom of the elders of this Senate prevail and they feel we should do otherwise, let's lock ourselves up in a closed-door session and take another decision and go back to the world and reconsider ourselves on whatever decision we take today. I beg all of you, we must do the right thing today. We did not start this fight. Senator Ningi took this to the public domain, standing up to apologize here. Even after he repeated that some people got 100 billion from this budget, some people got 60 billion. Haba, what apology are you expecting? Let us do the right thing, and I am saying it as part of the leadership of this Senate. I am not bothered. I was going through online, just as this is going on, it's trending now, that every senator got 500 million. My appeal to Nigerians is not about what was said there today, because I'm not going to deny that. But we have 12 months to implement 2024 budget. Let every Nigerian wait to see whether there is any of these senators who will not bring enough boreholes, enough solar street lights, enough road construction, and other projects, training and empowerment that will be up to 500 million naira. That is it. I am not protesting. If I got anything here, it is not money put in my pocket. They are constituency projects given to my constituency. And I'm not apologetic about it. Mr. President, please let us go into the prayers and do the right thing.
Did you all pay attention to how he systematically turned it into the North versus the South? Not about this money, this padded money. He did not deny that he collected 500 million. He's one of those who collected 500 million. But like he said, it's not as if I put it in my pocket. It is for my constituency. Now that you have heard that they gave us 500 million. Now, if you see the senator that is not giving you borehole, street light, solar panel, you should ask them what they did with the money. It's not as if I put... He didn't deny. He didn't say he collected. He didn't say he didn't collect. But he managed. Did you see how he started twisting there? Like, it's not about the corruption that has been exposed. It is about the North versus the South. How come? They are ganging up. They want to remove you. Why are they always like that? You come from the South. Your people, they have not been the Senate president of this country in the last 40 years. Now, somebody is now saying that now that you are Senate president, they want to remove you. Not because they padded money. Not because they have been sharing your money. Ọlọ́run Ọba, Heavenly Father, Sky Daddy, can you just please give your people sense? Somebody said maybe if we tell Nigerians that sense na app, the same way they download apps, the same way you download apps on your phone. That maybe if we tell them that sense is an app, they will begin to download it and begin to use it. They are the architect of that tribal, religious, ethnic division. And that's how they talk. You remember when we say, oh, if anybody stand up now to stand up against any of these criminals, the other people will come and say, he's our own, leave him alone. Why are you hating us? Why do you hate the South? Why do you always hate the people who come from why do you hate Yorubas? Why do you hate Hausas? Ababa. That's how they start. So that's how they have been able to put all of that in your head. Because suddenly, if anything happened to Akpabiole, it's an insult on the people of Niger Delta. It's a shame that you will allow them to remove your man. I beg you. The people of Niger Delta. When I don't hear this trillion. Akpabiole this, Akpabiole that, Akpabiole this, Akpabiole that. How much of this money you can point at and say, at least we know what you use the money to? If you come to Niger Delta now 24 hours electricity there is no on-tar road in any part of Niger Delta. I tell you, they have the best medical facilities, the best education system. Education is free. Healthcare is free. So all of you that are coming for Akpabiole, leave him alone. Yes, call him a thief. He's our thief. Not because of that, now because una go shout Asawana. They will give you a go around 1,000 naira. For those of you who sabi type on the internet, they make your own money 30,000 naira. But yet, na trillion you the year so. But you go think say anybody that comes for Tifnumbu is coming for Yoruba. You have to deal with me. If anybody is trying to come for Akpabiole, you will need to face me. Because any attack on Akpabiole is attack on the BBOs. Attack on Akpabiole is not attack on the BBO. And it is not even an attack. An expose on Tifnumbu is not an attack on the Yorubas. We will get there. So Akpabiole was already pregnant. He was already like somebody who won't cry. So he just had to read what Bamidele told him. Just, we have to do what we have to do, please. And that's exactly what they did. Watch.
The motion has been moved by an amendment has been offered by Distinguished Senator Maidoki and seconded by Distinguished Senator Sani Musa that it be suspended for only 3 months from the Senate. Those in support of the suspension for 3 months say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the Distinguished Senator Dingy is hereby suspended for 3 months from all activities connected with the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that Chairman, the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
They came in number. So while these people who are calling a money that even federal government don't have it. Can you imagine 40 trillion? They are requiring 40 trillion. Yes, for the 13%, 40 trillion. I mean, our budget is not even up to that. 40 trillion. Is it 11 Hilux car? Then 150. Is it Boko Haram? I don't know the name of that bikes. 140. Honda. Where do we Honda car? How do they get this money? People are living hand to mouth now. And you are asking them to bring this huge amount of money. Where do they get this money? In fact, government should come and help us. If not, these people will die in their hand. Please, we are calling on government to please help us. Come to our aid by providing security to us. In fact, if we have a military base by that side, they will be able to prevent this occurrence.
So now 28 trillion, then 28.7 trillion. I've been at 25 trillion. They cost wahala. 3 trillion, no. 3 trillion, 3.7 trillion ransom. Now they cause trouble for the supposed Nigeria senators. You know, say Nigeria is captured. Nigerians, they are captured people too. So every day, the rogues that captured you and captured your country, they continue to take ransom. Sometimes they take your life. I mean, you do know the Fulani terrorists who will collect ransom from you. But the criminals in government, they are always taking ransom on you by unleashing the economic sabotage that you have been experiencing. Of course, now ransom you they pay. Your budget, you pay ransom, okay? And you pay ransom through the pardon, Abi, and execution. So ransom of 40 trillion is what the Kaduna terrorists were asking for. But ladies and gentlemen, in that same Kaduna, they have kidnapped another 61 people yesterday evening. 61. Now, if you now put all the numbers together, we are now looking at 900 people in the captivity of the terrorists in Nigeria. 900. Those that were asking, those that are asking for 40 trillion, they saw you when you budgeted 5 or so billion for BAT. You budgeted over 50 billion for rats. And then you also budgeted over 17 billion for shitty man. I read that online, okay? So bat na Tifnumbu, rat na Remi, the Remi Werekwe. So you say Remi Ahmed Tinumbu, Bola Ahmed Tinumbu, that's bat. Or Bola Adekunle Ahmed Tinumbu, Bati. Or you say rat, ratty. You can say bat, or you can say bat. You can say rat, or you can say rat. Whatever you want. Then they see all the trillions and trillions flying left, right, and center. Terrorists are looking at that and they're like, Omo, we too, we won't collect 40 trillion. Unakon, they say, that is even bigger than Nigeria budget. Well, it's up to the terrorists that have captured Nigeria, your politicians. If the ransom they want to take from you in 2025 now 100 trillion, all they have to do is to write it and print the money. No be so? And that is why in the last 10 months alone, the man that told us, Asari Dokubo.
This is one of the biggest steps. Like I said, I've always said, I'm not apologetic. I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible. Because I have no...
We'll come back to you. How it all started. Very poor quality, okay? But help me manage them. Manage the audio. Ignore the picture. Because it's like... the best I could come up with. The image is really bad, but I try to maintain the audio. So how it all started, I will be giving you the deadline. Okay. I don't know how many of you who have seen the recent Asari Dokubo's video. But some people saw that this afternoon. Some have seen it a few days back. Okay. But I have it here. Asari is warning us. Okay. And after this clip, we will go back to the timeline or dateline of Asari's lamentation, how it all started and where you are now. But as at 3-4 days ago, this is at Asari's latest lamentation. Okay? Lamentation, chapter 1, verse, okay, I think they said it's chapter 1, verse 8. Okay? The one that he just released recently. Lamentation of the Akpabioans.
Sisters, something seriously is happening. Something very serious is happening. And our so-called political elites and leaders do not care. They're not doing anything about it. They feel very unconcerned about it. Our political elites do not care about it. Our people are left rudderless, tossed here and there by the tempests and the winds of the sea. Nobody cares. Every day we hear stories of thousands and thousands of Futajelong Gambari Fulanis being transported by every means of transportation down into our land, down into the Jaw Nation, down into Igbo land, down into Shekiri land, down into Ogoni land, down into Yoruba land, down into Edo, every day, in the most unthinkable factions, in their thousands. If you go to Bayelsa today, as I'm talking, all the fishing settlements and the farming villages are occupied and controlled by these fellows. We are job people, we are strong. Nothing is going to happen. A man is only strong when he's with his people, when he has enough number to overcome his enemy. We should not underestimate these people. They have our money with us. They have been receiving tons and tons of our money. Their brother Abacha stole and sharing it amongst themselves. A minister in a federation came to say they're sharing the money in the north because there are no poor people in the south. And where are our governors? Where are our locations ministers? Where are our women rights ministers? Where are our women rights lawyers? All of them, they close their mouth. But this is more sinister. This is more sinister. They are coming here. They are changing the demography. What are they coming for? You remember Osman Danfodio? How they came to Sokoto, to Gobiri, to Kano, to Katsina, to be there. And what happened? They replaced the Abe rulers. They replaced the original people and took over the realms of power. They are coming. History is going to repeat itself. If we don't act now, they are coming. History is going to repeat itself. If we don't act now, they are not pretending about it. They are coming with war, destruction, and death. They are coming to occupy our land. Why you cannot go to your community? In Obama, how many Obama people are at home? They are leaving their home and they are coming here. Obama is a village. You cannot come to Obama. Those of us who live in Obama, we are backward people. Buguma is a village. Abonima is a village. You don't care. You are not bothered. But when death will come, it will not only come for Dokubo Asari. When the evil and the tribulation will come, it will not come for only Dokubo Asari. It will come for all of us. I'm smarter than you. I know that I'm more prepared than you. And when it comes, I will also run faster than you. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. It's not grandstanding like Wiki. I caught 14 people.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Baba nuisance. The joke is actually on him. He said he is smarter than you. He can run faster than you. Is that not a joke? Somebody where they follow Tifnumbu because he was looking for the pipeline contracts in a totally or in a completely ruined and destroyed country. They have military. They have the army. They have the navy. They have the air force. They have all of the intelligence, what have you. But Nigeria cannot protect our own national infrastructures, okay? Since they cannot even protect their people. And they can't protect any of their national infrastructure like the pipeline.